Alright, hello everybody, Zaxter99 back to play another new game. Well, this isn't new to me, but it is not new to Steam. This game came out about a year ago, back in September of 2022. Right now, it's getting over 2,100 reviews on Steam, with a 96% positive review rating. So guys, we're going to go ahead and play this, I guess it's like an isometric RPG, but mostly a text adventure, if you would. And I'm going to read it to you. We're going to make choices, and we're going to see how it goes. Now, some people might like this for like ASMR, so I'll definitely put ASMR in my title on YouTube. But let me know what you guys think of this. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. So we start off here. It says the 10 cities have the emperors, villages, and the wilderness. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go a new game here. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept the struggle, but they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible get rid of the beasts and the highwaymen. They live on the road. They die young, and they either die young or they retire early. Okay, I can see that. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I leave the safety of the city walls, or I still have my doubts. I think we need a little more convincing. What do you guys think? No, I guess that's, we hit new game again. I guess the only, yeah, I guess we just leave the city, leave the safety of the city walls right now. Please select the difficulty mode. The choice cannot be altered later on. Casual for those focused on the story, no time limit, more cash at the start, some quests are more forgiving. Familiar with RPGs, 40-day time limit, a regular rule set. Well, I kind of like the idea of having more time, and a more casual game to focus on the story. But we're going to go ahead and go standard here, guys, and see what it's about. I may change this up later, or replay it if I die or whatever, but we're going to go ahead and just go standard here. Alright. Well, here we go. I like the picture of where we're at. Kind of shows you, gives you an idea of what I'm reading. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around. No stench of blood. That's good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp here isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and predators, but not beastfolk, nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey, or your horse, breathes heavily. It had a long day. I could look around for another shelter. I need to look around cautiously. I dismount and sneak to the gate, let's peek inside, or I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. Well, since we don't know anything about this camp where we're at, I think we're going to... let's look around cautiously and see what happens. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley. But you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. I could just look for another shelter. I could dismount and sneak to the gate, let's peek inside, or get off the horse and enter the camp risky. We're still going to be careful here, guys. I think we're still going to be careful. Let's go ahead and dismount, sneak to the gate, and peek inside. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. Boy, warm stew sounds good right now, I'm telling you. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Okay, so to take care of yourself, if you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance that you'll die in combat. Okay, that makes sense. So right now we have vitality of 3 out of 4. We feel well. And it is 30 minutes before dusk. Okay, let's go ahead and approach the gate slowly. The only option. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, and the fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. So I could just look for another shelter? Or they don't look like much of a threat? I feel safe entering. Let's just go ahead and enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes and his beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable and decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for his weapon. Take a look at the second soul. I mean, it's the only option here. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. So her head is shaven as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary yet kind, and she smiles at you. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them, 8 you believe. I let them speak first, or I ask them about their lieutenant. Let's let them speak. It's nice to see an unarmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a teeny bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her moment switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe. But if you were to take the first watch, it would be a huge help here. Travelers ought to help each other, you know? Wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you'll need a good sleep. No, I think we're gonna go ahead and cooperate with them, and let's say sure, leave it to me. Fantastic, she rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I got more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up, just yell. He drinks from his mug. I asked him about their lieutenant. It's my only option. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. So we can be friendly, we can be playful, we can be distant, hiding our emotions, we can be intimidating, hint at a threat, or we can be vulnerable, be sad, tired, afraid, and hopeless. No, I don't think we want to show weakness here. I don't think we want to be playful either, or distanced. I don't think we want to try to intimidate them. I think we're just going to be friendly. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I. Though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? My only choice here, guys, is to say I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece, all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. I shake her hand and introduce myself, or it may be a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me. Let's be safe here. Let's be safe and pretend that we're gonna wash my hands first. How do you want people to call you? I'm just gonna go ahead and say Zax. The lieutenant stands with her hand out, but then raises her arms with an awkward smile. Of course, of course. Just keep your horse away from the tent. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. That's kind of funny. We should also prepare for the night. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We have no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. That's fine? Or I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. I'm just gonna say I should get used to sleeping on the ground. Why not? You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not taller than you, but also bulky and heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people won't know or wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but they won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs for you to survive, but without it, you would be lost. It's my only companion here. I want it to feel at ease, or I don't care how it feels, but I need to be strong if I want to travel. I can't afford another one. No, I'm going to say I want it to be at ease. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way your horse likes it. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting all emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. I think that's true. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. Again, my only choice there. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than the shabby grass. You should look for an inn. Need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Oh my. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could, spare one for you. Couldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions, essential for your trade. So this is where we're going to choose what kind of a class we are. Are we a fighter? I've spent my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, with a reliable crossbow with quarrels. I'm a mage. I have talismans that will help ensure my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. Or am I a scholar? I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a worn gambeson, and a healing potion. Or I want to learn more about the three classes. No, I think we're going to start off this one. We're just going to be a standard, average old fighter, not to be too boring. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here, just in case. You open your inventory to see possessions. Okay. You take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife. There's nothing special here or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid making mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Okay, I return to the soldiers, but first let's go ahead and say taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it with various settlements, or at various settlements. Okay. So we're returning to the soldiers now. They're at the table again, observing your beasts and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them, eating out of their wooden bowls. Yeah, I'd like a bowl of that soup. One more bowl was put at the previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. Or I completely ignore the meal, and I sit down to speak with Tulia. No, let's just be friendly here. Let's trust them and hope it's for the best. I'm going to go ahead and join them and take a look at the meal. It's cold gruel. The meal eaten in time's a hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, and some strange-looking cereals and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty here. I agree. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own best judgment. Different responsibilities and different lifestyles. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, and then speak with Julia. It's our only choice here. So keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality without resting. And you can find your supplies in your inventory, which we can just click up here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, because we probably don't want to taste it. It doesn't look like it sounds that great. Water, hog millet, and strange-looking cereals? Yeah. Julie is focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I could tell you less than I would like to, and less than I should. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of us left. At the beginning of the summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 of them are dead now. 1 has run away in tears. Her companion also adds, we're also strangers in this land. Any piece of information may help me do my job, you say. The man leans forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider to be relevant, or what I've discussed with the officials should stay between me and them. I'm just going to say I share what I consider to be relevant to be more friendly here. Maybe they'll open up more. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received, since this area is far too heavy from Hollowin to keep it under control. You were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villagers, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. You say. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt that she'll ever find a comfortable position, but she keeps fidgeting and moving around. Where should we start? Okay, we have a lot of choices here. What should I know about the peninsula? Any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? I lost my rope, could you spare one? What happened to your squad? Julia, how did you become the lieutenant? What was your squad's mission? Anything I should know about this camp? If you were me, where would you go next? I think I'm going to ask for the rope I need. I mean, why not? One thing I've learned in my life is it never hurts to ask, right? You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down in her chair. Go ahead and take it. I was planning to leave it behind anyway. Take a closer look. It's a regular rope made of hemp fibers. Doesn't cost me anything, and I take it and offer some food in return. Julia leans forward and rests her forearms on her thighs, looking down with clasped hands, then meets your eyes. I'd normally refuse, but we need some decent food. Every day I'm searching through our grouts, looking for worms, oh my, and putridity. We forage, but it's not a great spot here. Some food rations will brighten up a foggy day. For now, you leave the rope on the table. So what do we want to ask next? Want to ask any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? I'm curious, after all. Julia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him in almost half a year now. Soldier speaks for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that they had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in the early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you at all. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen a sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, and write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave it gone. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Julia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. So my only option now is to say, sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in the basement, the man carves with passion. We haven't seen him at all, or his Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return now. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, they can easily defend themselves from many different monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly seek its teeth into an innocent passerby. Well, sounds true enough. And again, my only option here is to say, do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message. And Julia says, neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, says Julia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Wait! She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Holpavan. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, and a decent bow, as well as some potions. Quite a treasure. She glances over at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So I say, so you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff, is that right? Here's the catch. She jumps off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. He sighs with resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hollivon together. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Hollivon in the early fall anyway. So again, my only choice here, guys, is to say, if he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me talking or taking all of his possessions. Yeah, that's probably true enough. And so she says, true, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find a shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears a mail. He uses a spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but he's stout. He has a long red beard and short hair. A very pale face. He rarely smiles. She glances over at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So, go find out what happened to him, dead or alive. Just let me know. Okay, so we have a mission now. We have a quest. Find out what's going on with Abirion, or whatever his name is. What should I know about the peninsula? Let's ask about that. I'll tell you what I know, and you be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I guess it'd be 3 or 4 days? When you confirm, she continues on. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Holbavan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages. collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast, such as this one, is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Okay? So you say because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and the boats can't get much closer. You not. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to our camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, held to the north, they're happy to trade there and to play dice. So I asked them why not just stay at one of their settlements. The man clears his throat. I mean, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And well, he turns towards Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Sax. But are you a devout soul? So now I have lots of different options here. Do I say, like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats and nature of dark magic? Everyone will be judged by both their good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. Or do I say, for many years I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. Or do I say I'm from a small village? For me, the freedom of shell, noma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. Or maybe I say I have a strong connection to nature and spirits and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'll probably call me a pagan. Or do I say there's no evidence of the right's existence on all the mystical tables are explained by magic? So no, I'm not. I think I'm going to make the first option and just say people should unite their strength, and that I'm a part of the United Church. A fellow unite, the man smiles. Through this land, or though in this land, it won't bring you very much good. And she adds, at least we can discuss the topic freely now. She says with a barely visible smile. So I got a little smile out of that, and they look like they're in unison with me. So let's get into it. Right. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with her index finger as if she's pointing out at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. To the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. Oh god. Okay, I see. You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy the river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, the necromancers, and the blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. Alright, I'm gonna say... any monster worth mentioning, anything that could catch my mouth? Let's say that. Let's ask about that. Accidentally clicked too far, so let's go ahead and read this again. We saw all sorts of beasts, the man starts to count on his fingers. We saw goblins, treants, large cats, and small runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins, wow, but we managed to stay away from them. Some could catch up with the most of the mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and the mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Just don't provoke them, and ride fast, and count on luck. So I say, were you able to speak with the necromancers? You can see why they were not eager to go there, and if we can avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden like yourself. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelter. People will need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Julia nods. Hell to the north is a very safe place. You can talk with the innkeep and the guards, and ask about the road. Okay. And I say, how about the east? He stares off across the camp. It's hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, and rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't dare enter it. Wilderness all around. Okay, so the only thing I have to say now is that's all I need to know. He nods. I'm afraid we can't do any more for you. So now we go back to the original questions we had. If you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Julia, but the hunters tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. So I ask, any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks at this. Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, and don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. So basically we want to show our trust, okay? I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with that. I think I know everything I need. Are you sure, says the bearded man? We may not be around the next time you come here. No, I think we should prepare for the night anyway. I agree, Julia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Be vigilant. He winks at you, shattering the mask of the soldier. Do I thank her for her help here? You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. And I go ahead and prepare my watch. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes, though. They climb up and carry out any food they can find in here. And there's this one really loud werewolf that keeps smelling the wall, though it has never tried to get in. He points at the gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, you better go ahead and call us to help you out. And if this someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. Well, that makes sense. Throw them a rope and don't open the gate. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. Watchtower, I ask? He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here! He points at the pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view of the northern side from there. The more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple hours sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. Well, that's pretty nice of him. Do I walk away and refuse it, or do I smile and say thanks a lot? I think we're going to thank him and take his offer. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings a gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see 3 horned deer, all trying to challenge one another. Before they dash their antlers, a 2-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their own defeat. I don't let it distract me, I keep looking around. It's my only choice. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your own sleepiness. I love the sounds of the crickets and everything in the background, because you know it's night. That's a really nice effect. I really like it. I also like the music that I was hearing earlier. It seems like a really well-written story. I'm really enjoying it so far. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel that you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with a cloak. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away from you, and the moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wandering duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, the resources, and the threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with the Holovan officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? Well, at least I have time. I have 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Okay? Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Holovan. There, you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goals to pursue. So now we have, it looks like 6 different choices on how we're going to continue this after our first night's sleep in this camp. So now if we look at our journal, guys, we do have the quest to explore the peninsula. It tells you all about it, and we also need to find the Roadwarden. We know about Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. He disappeared a couple of months ago under unknown circumstances. We know about the Pelsin Keep, and Tulia and her soldier. And we don't know any of the monsters yet, but we've heard of them, so it looks like we have a few to read about should we ever want to. I do like all the information available from your journey here, guys. We're going to go ahead and save here, though, in this empty slot. And we're going to go ahead and pick this up in part 2 of my playthrough of Roadwarden. Guys, if you guys have enjoyed my first play of this, be sure and let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to hear me read more. And then if I continue reading, or when I continue reading Roadwarden, I'll be sure and put them all on a playlist so that anybody that wants to use these as like a sort of ASMR, if you would be, or just listen to the whole story to whenever they want to stop and save and pick it up later, you'll be able to just go ahead and watch the playlist and watch it for as long as it is at any given time. So I have saved the game, guys, as you see right here, and we'll continue this in part 2 of Roadwarden. And I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and comment down below if you'd like to hear more. That'll definitely go a long way, so let me know if you guys are liking what you hear so far. Also, let me know as well. This game will be linked down in the description. And if this video has prompted you to go buy this game for yourself, I would love to know that as well. Be sure you comment that and let me know that you bought it because you like what this brings to the table. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Take care.